Action.
And action.
Okay, so we've been having this kind of routine problem. It's happened, this is either my third or fourth time fixing it, where our furnace does not work, so it doesn't ignite. So what's happening as far as symptoms go, the thermostat is triggering the furnace. You hear the fan come on. Fan blows maybe anywhere between 5 and 15 seconds, then the whole thing just cuts out and dies. So what's happening is that it's never igniting or trying to ignite, and it has nothing to do with propane. So luckily when this first happened, which we had happened
Was
the
it
first night, yeah,
lucky?
it was like 20 degrees or something like that. We were up in the White Mountains. We ended up, I didn't know how to fix it, had no tools, nothing, and it was
We had no
already
service.
like, yeah, I think it was like already like 9 p.m. No service to kind of look it up, no manuals on hand, so we actually just drove the 2 hours back home. Got home, and it probably took me like 5 minutes to fix. I don't know who it was, but someone on YouTube. Is just an old man in Florida on his trailer. Sure enough, he showed how to do it, and it was a quick, easy fix that saved me from getting a tech or something like that. So I'm kind of paying it forward. If you do have this type of furnace, that it might help. So I don't know exactly, you know, it's a Dometic furnace. I don't know what the actual like model number is or anything like that, but you take the panel off here. Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay. Put that down. So what this has, and this is the weird part if I remember how to do this correctly. So as long as everything is connecting, it's most likely going to be a sail switch. So a sail switch basically in this little like fan housing here. Fan goes around, okay, and it blows this very thin, which I'll take out in a second, very little thin piece of metal. When that blows, it will close it, which allows the signal to go through it, which would then go on to the allowing propane in and to ignite it. And then boom, we have heat inside the camper. So it's a super basic, primitive safety thing. But if it gets any type of hair, or most every time I found it is like a very small piece of like lint, like dust, that doesn't allow it to connect, even if the fan is pushing it and that hair or lint is in between, it won't let that signal go on to the ignition and allow some propane to come out. Okay, so it's very simple design, but unfortunately it kind of happens too often, especially our setup where the camper is so small. So where the air comes out, the heat inside, like the exhaust of it and the ductwork, it's only like this far apart. So it's very easy for hair or anything to fall in it, because it's a big hole like this, and just go right into the bottom where the sail switch is, in the bottom of the fan housing. If it was different, almost even the opposite, where the furnace was above where the heat came out, it would avoid that. It would be hard for the dust to come up, or even like a corner in the ductwork or something, because it's so direct. And if you have the same type of setup and your heat shuts off, it's probably what it is. And it's worth checking out because it is pretty simple. So I'll see if I remember how to do it, but it says teeny tiny little screw. Uh-oh, might be too small for this. And I'm pretty sure that's the one. Let's see if I can find a smaller. I had an actual screwdriver that I knew fit, and it broke. And it just snapped off. I don't know why. It's a cheap piece of shit. There it goes. The good news is, if I were to break this, because it is pretty fragile, I think when I looked it up, it was only like 10 bucks or something like that for a new sail switch on these models. And then we do not want to lose it. And I'll show you, if this is what it is, how pathetic this issue is. So anyways, we lost some heat last night. It wasn't that cold. We were being wimpy, but would have been nice to have more heat. So this, you can see this connection here, needs to all come out on this blue wire. Let's get this guy out of the way. Yeah, okay, so I can already see the hair.
Chip's majorly shedding right now, so
Yeah.
it probably doesn't help the cause.
Okay, so this is a sail switch. You see this like lint? I think I already kind of fixed it. And you see this right here? I don't know if you can zoom in. This piece of lint is the one doing it, or hair, whatever it is. So when the fan, that goes, big fan in there, it pushes it and shuts it like this. I don't know if you can hear that little beep. That allows the signal to go through to the rest of it, so you have some ignition and burning of the gas. Heating it. Does that because it needs the, what it's doing is making sure that one, there's no residual propane or gas that's in there. So it's blowing that out. And it needs to make sure that the fan works before there's any ignition. So once there is a flame, it's actually getting rid of the air, and it can't handle that, just the flame and the heat sitting in here. So it's just going through a certain order. That's what it was. So all you have to do is literally pick that out. It's kind of pathetic. Okay. And then put this back in nice and clean without breaking it. Something in there. Ooh. I think I'm actually hitting the fan. So the hard part. And I also, the first time I did it when I was troubleshooting, I had the fan running.
Oh, God.
And it whacked it when it went in. So it's a lot closer to this little hole here. So, but I figured out that's what it was. There we go. So line it back up.
Sweet.
Put the screw in. So we'll test it, but I can already tell because I did find that strand of lint.
Oh, no.
That's what it is. So it's worth checking if your furnace is not, it's turning on, it's not an electrical issue. It's either responding to you manually turning the heat on or responding to the thermostat and the temperature level. And then it's trying and you hear that fan come on and then nothing after. It's worth checking. You're gonna come in here anyways, right? To the back side of the furnace. Make sure connections didn't rattle off during travel. And then if yours does use a sail switch, look into it. That's probably it. And that's it. So that saves you from getting a tech, and that took 5 minutes.